name is Winashe and I'm passionate about making whatever journey you're on a little bit easier. Today that journey is contour, which especially for beginners is a really scary thing to touch, and I want to make it a little less scary for you. The first things I want to address is getting what products to get. Now if you're a beginner, I suggest you get cream contour and cream blush and liquid highlighter, liquid concealer, because liquids are a little bit easier to work with a beauty blender or a brush. I suggest both. And your fingers, of course, nature's best tools. And powders are a little bit more advanced in my opinion. Like they can go everywhere faster, get darker faster. So I shy away from those, and then get a cream one. Now when you're picking contour, pick whatever shade you think matches your skin type, and then go a shade lighter than that, because we tend to overdo it and make it a bit too dark in my experience, and makeup is all about trial and error, so if you get it wrong a couple times, it's okay, you'll get there eventually. To highlight the fact that this is for all skin types, all skin shades, I'm going to use black and white and other colors that just work on every single face no matter what it is. For contour, we're going to start with the cheeks. And what I like to do is I like to go, because everything we want to uplift everything. Oopsie. I just dropped it. We want to uplift the face and just make you feel like a little tighter and younger. So I would go right here, just like that, a little short line inner towards the thing, towards your cheek, and right here a short tiny itty bitty baby line. Like people like to in the diagrams go all the way here or all the way here, just a short little line, because if it's cream you can blend it out and have more control instead of putting yourself here and then getting here and it's too dark. Around the forehead I like to do this right here, and it's not this whole line, it's just these two spots blended out, because again, that uplifted look. Around the nose we do a line here, a line. Now depending on whether or not you want to minimize the size of your nose, you would draw these lines closer, but I'm going to give you a bit of advice on that a little bit later. Under here, and make a little arch over your nose right here, like so. That is just, it makes your nose a little bit more perky and youthful and light. Now for concealer, you want to put your concealer, how I like to do it these days, people do these big wide things, and for an enhancing look of your natural features, I don't like to put that much, so I mainly go right here under the eye, right here, up here, and I'm using nature's brushes right now because nothing works better than those, baby. Right here, little square, it doesn't have to be too perfect because you're gonna blend it out, and right up here. So that's what I like to do for the eyes. Blend that out, blend it down. It travels pretty far if you're using a good concealer. On the chin, on the upper lip, oop, got a little on there, on the upper lip, and then on your nose in the center here, and then up this line right here, going up and spreading to the forehead. And this is your highlighter and contour. That's it. And then when you dive into blush and highlighter, blush and highlighter are really great ways to make yourself look younger, and especially if you're young and you put on makeup and you feel old, blush especially can help you look younger. So we're gonna put it up on the upturn. Instead of, you can focus it on your cheeks if you want to go really youthful, but for just an uplift we go right here and right here. Beautiful. And then we can blend these up and down, but you know what I was talking about before. And for highlighter, we want to put that right where everything's going, blending in with the blush and a bit of the contour right there, blending in with that. And you want these three elements to blending up like that. You want to put it also on the other parts where you put highlighters. I'm just gonna, it would be on top concealer, so you put some on your chin again, on your lip again, but it would be right here, on your nose, and then up this line up here, just enhancing the concealer that you put on there before. How I would blend this out is I would take a brush, which I'm going to show you like the naturally blended out version, but here, let me do it for you. I would take a brush that is like a big kind of flat brush, like so. My brushes have been through it because I like to do crazy makeup. Follow me on Instagram at mu.na.sh.e. It's just Menashe with a bunch of dots. If you look up Menashe, you'll be fine. Or especially with contour, I like to do with an angled fluffy brush like this. And so you're gonna take your brushes and you're gonna like start bending it upwards. We want to do everything in upward strokes, and you would travel up and then bring it down with you so that it diffuses itself. And then with the blush, you come in up with you, it diffuses itself. Highlighter up with you, diffuses itself. Now at this point, you would have already blended in your concealer. How I like to do my process is foundation, then concealer, and then contour, blush, highlight. That's the order I like to do them in. It's just the way I shaped it. So even though I'm using like black, when I turn around, comparatively, I have already pretty naturally uplifted face, and it just lifts your whole face really nicely. It's not too dark, and here's what to do if it gets too dark. Now there's this beautiful magical product I like to call translucent setting powder. This one is the CoverGirl Clean Professional Translucent Setting Powder, but like Maybelline makes really good ones, and I like loose more than like tight fit. And here's why. Because you can use either I like to use a loose brush like this if you don't want those harsh, like you've seen people completely bake under here with the beauty blender, like take their beauty blender, dip it in some of this, and like shape that curve, but it can come off a little harsh and not as everyday as a lot of people want. So you take this and you dip it in your powder and you put it just under there so it lightens it up. If it feels too dark, you take some of this, just a little bit, and you put it over the lines that you've already made, and on your nose too. Now, nose is the last point I'll talk about in contouring is the nose. It's pretty scary because people are like, I don't want my nose to look too dark. I don't want my nose to look like it's non-existent. I want to make my nose smaller. I want to keep my nose the same, but I keep crookeding it up. Here's what I suggest. You do your contour first. Now, you can do your concealer under it, but you're kind of gonna ignore it. You do your contour first, blend it out first, and then you put your concealer where you want it, here, up here, however thick or thin you want the line to be, there, and then you blend it out and then blend them together. How I like to use setting powder around the nose is I will take it, dip it in, and then draw out and dust out that line. So if it's not, you don't want your contour to be blended all the way down to your nose, you take this, and like I said, it like takes color away from what's there and also sets it in place. You put it and you just run it down the part that you wanted to see. Let it sit there to bake for 5 to 10 minutes, however long it takes to do your eyes or the rest of your makeup routine, and then take it off. Other places that I suggest using powder, but I'm not a person who likes to like pack it on thick because I personally have lines under my eyes that like if I pack them in thick, they'll get cakey and like flaky, and that's just not a cute look. So I put a little bit on this brush, which is why I don't like to use a beauty blender most of the time. A little bit, and then just dust it under my eye and dust it upwards. Everything is upwards. Dust it, dust, 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 dust. Right where we put our concealer, dust all of that, and then you will be good to go. You just have to remember after a few minutes, no longer than 10 or 15, brush even that off. Like you did it lightly, but brush it off and then set it with a setting spray, glowy matte, whatever you like to do it. apologize for my voice in this video. It was kind of on crack. I'm losing it right now, but here's a good brand for at least a stick. One last tip for application I'd give you is if you're afraid of these lines, or if you just want like a sun-kissed kind of natural look, instead of drawing lines, you can also very easily use dots. Don't know if you can see that. Dots like that instead of harsh lines like that, because it'll come off lighter, and that's the kind of benefits you have when you use a cream as instead of a powder. So yeah, that was my video. I hope you enjoyed. I hope that this works for you. Give me any feedback if it worked for you, if it didn't, how you can adjust it, because makeup, as much as you can learn from other people, it's a really personal experience. And over the 2 years I've been doing makeup on myself and on other people, every time is a new learning opportunity, and just by doing it you're getting better. So yeah, check me out on Instagram at Menashe, mu.na.sh.e. It's like a website. And subscribe, like this video, share it with your friends if you think they need it. And I love you. I hope this made your day a little bit better. Goodbye.